I've never done anything like this before. But as I let go, I realized that I feel like this is something that I need to do, something that I experienced, which has really allowed me to gain momentum and clarity and purpose, and to experience the life of non-duality. So I'm gonna do my best to pick up how this all started from a connection I had this morning. I remember being startled by what seemed to be a snore or a deep, deep, deep sleep. I became lucid. It was almost like and I instantly became lucid. And I was just awareness. I was just pure thought. And then again, this jolting, like a jolting. And when I turned this pure thought into awareness, I became aware that I was aware that my physical body was asleep. And I just sat in that space and listened to the physical body just sleep. And as soon as I did that, I realized that I was in what I would just call the real world. I was in the real world because I observed through thought. And I know a lot of you will get this. Through thought, I could see through thought. I didn't have physical eyes. But through thought, through this awareness, I saw. A biological, mechanical vehicle sleep. And once that happened, I felt this warm, strong sensation of beingness and oneness. I felt so full. And as I began to transition more towards this pull, like this need, like this will and this desire was pulling me. It was pulling me inward without my assistance. I simply observed. And this pulling continued and continued and continued and continued. I saw a variety of transitions. I won't even waste this time and space in the present moment to try to describe what I saw, because it would give no merit to what you will feel and what you will soon understand. And as I kept going inward and inward and inward and inward, I saw what I would just describe as a portal. It was a portal, but what was different about this particular portal, I didn't have to visualize it or focus on this particular portal. I didn't have to connect with this portal. This portal pulled me. It willed me there. There was no effort on my part to enter this portal. It willed me. It pulled me. It drawed me. It consumed me. And out of nowhere, I was enveloped by this portal. And I was going through more transitionings, which English, the mind can't even discern. There's no words. I'll just say I was transitioning once again. And after this transitioning, I was in a very, very familiar space. And I was actually on a street corner of Vassar and Fielding. And my age was 13 years old. I would be turning 14 in 10 days, July 20th. And I remember standing on that street corner, and I looked up in the sky, and the sky was at first a dark, dark gray color. And there was no light in the sky. It was just darkness. It was just gray. And I remember the sky transitioning from a gray to a deep, deep orange color. And just the transitioning of the color, I remember beginning to feel fearful of this transition, just fearful. And I remember as this transition got stronger and stronger and these colors became more vivid, I began to run towards a dwelling that I used to stay in on Fielding Street. I began to run home. And as I was running home, and I was really trying to get home with all my will and all my desire, I was really trying to make it home. It seemed like the harder I tried to make it to this house, the slower or the harder it became for me to move. And as I looked up in the sky at this time, I saw this big, huge planet. Looked like a planet. And it was entering in to the atmosphere that I was residing in. It's a huge planet, huge planet. And it was so powerful. It was actually changing the structure or the reflection of the dimension I was in at that time. And so it picks back up. I'm running. I'm trying to get to the house. I'm trying to get away from this. I didn't understand what it was at that time. I was 14 years old. I began to fade away from this vision. This vision became less lucid and it instantly dissolved. And as it dissolved, I was taken from that space up into my heart space. Up into my heart space. And I was sitting there for a minute in awe. Just in awe. That's the only word that I can use to describe how I felt. And I was sitting there and I was just became aware of my heart and the things that were inside of my heart. And my heart was like my driving force. Sorry for the animals. An ambulance is riding past, and the dogs howl when they hear the high-pitched ambulance. I'm sorry. I'll pause. Isn't that eerie, hearing that? It's eerie. High-pitched vibrations. They hate the sound of the ambulance. I'll pick back up. I was sitting in my heart space, and my whole... Pick it back up there. Pick it back up. It's okay, so I'll reconnect. They kind of broke my connection a little bit. As I was sitting in my heart space, I could feel, it wasn't a visual, but I could feel my driving force, or my beingness was in my heart, like my intent. It all was coming from my heart. And out of nowhere, I just, oh man, it was just like a, oh man, the first drop of a roller coaster won't even do this justice. It was just like this destruction of duality. Like, it was just like a whole, oh, it's hard to explain, but I'll just use the term. It was like the destruction of duality. And imagine that by just visualizing a part of yourself, or what you thought was yourself, just being alleviated from your consciousness, just becoming non-existence, like from the speed of thought, like that, like no separation. And it was this connection. It was a connection. And I was familiar with this connection because I felt this connection before, but it was just so like flashy. I didn't understand it like I understand it now. It was like this connection. And it was a gradual connection. It was like, it wasn't instant, it was gradual. And it was almost like my heart was being examined. And I had some things that showed up in my heart space. And let's just say they were like speed bumps as I was like on this journey, as I was, not like a journey, but it was like, let's just stick to the connection. As I was connecting, the stronger this connection became, I would run over another speed bump in my heart space. And each time I went over the speed bump, I know what they were, I just don't care to share. That's just too much information. The journey would continue, or the connection would continue. And the longer this connection existed, the stronger the awareness and consciousness became. It got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it was like this, oh, how can I explain? It was like this thought that never ended. That was all clarity. And that was all wisdom. And that was endless. And it was a thought. It was a thought that just came out of nowhere when I connected. It was just, you guys know what I'm saying. It was a thought that just consumed me. It was all just everything at once. It was a thought. It was a thought. And it just connected me to everything. It was a thought. It was a thought. And this thought was everything that I could ever even imagine to think. It was endless. It was the depths and the width, and it just passed all understanding. And it was a direct connection to me, and everything that says I am was included in this thought. It was a thought. And I just sat in this thought. Didn't have to meditate. I didn't have to try to think. I just was this thought. I was this thought, and you were this thought. And everyone listening to this live stream, you were this thought. This thought was everything that was this thought. And it was so powerful. Oh, Lord. And you just, see, you guys now are experiencing the after effects. I mean, it took me hours and hours to come down from this high. Hours. My wife had to hold me for like 2 hours straight to come down from this. It was a thought. Soul group, it was just a thought. An infinite, all-consuming, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-connecting thought that consumed me. In that illusion of time when I was connected to this thought that powered everything, 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 whew, everything that ever was, I was in this thought. There was no lack. There was no lack. There was no end. There was no beginning. Any and everything was possible. And I got there from this portal. This portal that we all have access to. This is not complex. And what I learned from this experience, that nobody on this planet is better than the next person. It's all a mirage. It's all non-existent. It's all, I don't know. And I'm not ashamed to say when I don't know. I can't say it's not real, because it is real, because we experience it and we produce right where we are right now. But I can say this. It's like one slide. If you have to use a slide, like a slide that a chemist would use to test organisms, a slide. It's like one slide of infinite slides. But it's not real. What I experienced, like for the first time, and I was so conscious of this, was real, organic. It was a real thought. It was like a real thought. It was the creator. whatever we call creator, or whatever we call the beginning, it all started from a thought, a real thought. And as long as you can get to your heart space, that's the journey. If you can get to your heart space, anyone can enter into this new. It's not even new. I can't say new. It's not new. It's always been there. It's just been interferences taking our awareness from what is. But we're stopping the connection or distracting us from the organic connection to thought, becoming thought. And the only thing that I did different, if I have to use that word different to get there, was I really wanted to be there. I really wanted to know without having to read a PDF or without having to jump on a live stream or without having to, talk to spirit guides. And I just wanted to know you for myself. I just wanted to feel you. I really wanted to know. And so now I know. I know we are all from thought. I'll just call it thought, if I may. Thought. Thought. Wow. It's endless. Wow. I hope somebody got something from this. I know it was a little weird, and I know, wow, And that's the portal. That's the portal that's open right now. That's where this new, if you want to call this new energy, if you want to call it energy, I don't really get too caught up in what people call it. I can feel it. And it's always been there. It's just we've had so many distractions on our journey, so many reincarnations, so many artificial intelligent portals. There's portals all over the earth right now that can take you places. But all you need to bypass all of that, all of these obstacles, all of these agendas, as above, so below. I saw the pyramid and I saw thought, that all-seeing eye at the top of that pyramid. I felt it, I saw it, I became it, I was it, right at the top of that pyramid. And I also realized when I hit my body, when I got back in my body, that this is just an artificial version of that. This is just an artificial version of that. This is something that we created. Being a part of thought. All of these dimensions and portals and all of this technology came from thought. The one. I used to call thought the divine presence of all. And I always knew, the gods came from thought. See? They came from thought. All of these gods came from thought. This first thought. Which has, wow, just manifested beyond. We can't even talk about it. In this realm. You can feel it though. But you gotta wanna know thought. and I really understand why meditation, all of these things that we are doing collectively as a group, those of you who choose to join all of these beautiful groups all over the world, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing when you just realize that no one is better than anyone. We're all a part of thought. We are all it. This is just a system that was comprised from branches and branches of this thought that became thoughts, and which allowed thoughts the free will to think. This is so complex. I'm just trying to really make it simple. We were from thought, who became thoughts, and then allowed these thoughts the free will to think for themselves, being the source of all of these thoughts. And as these thoughts began to think, they expanded, and this consciousness expanded. And it was all kind of thoughts. Just imagine, if you can think of anything, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing, and the thoughts became realer, and this energy started to grow and become, more fulfilling and higher. And then what we call the life, that spark, began to grow, organic atoms. And this kept growing and growing and ever expanded. And it became realer and realer and realer until these thoughts begin to recreate themselves over and over and over and over and over again. And what I'm feeling is the one thought never disconnected from the thoughts, because the first thought was the source or the power or the energy or the origin of all thoughts. So as we sit here now thinking, because this is linear, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is beyond you. It doesn't, time is nowhere near this. Time is nowhere near this. Nowhere near this. Gender, sex is nowhere near this. Nowhere near this. This is just pure, organic thoughts that become our realities, that become our manifestations, that become our presence, that become our awareness, that becomes our life, that becomes our lives, that becomes, and it just keeps going. And what I feel right now, from my perspective, is thought is saying, hello, I am. And this energy like this, hello, I am. You know what I mean? It's weird. I'm doing the best I can. I am. Hello, I am. And this energy, this vibration, this new energy is just following that path from the first thought. And it's going out and it's reaching all creation. And I really feel like you can't block this. It's just in the illusion of time. When you come back down to where we are right now, in the illusion of time, it's time. The time has come for the return of the first thought. To return, for us to return, to connect back to the first. I experienced this morning. I've had many out-of-body experiences, but I never had the clarity and the discernment and like you know what I mean? I'm gonna open up the phone lines I'm going to open up the phone lines. I cannot selfishly take up all this time. I want to hear if anyone else out there, what's going on in your ascension? Have you found this organic, and I just call it a portal. Have you found this connection to what we've been calling this new energy, trying to figure out this new energy? You know what I mean? Have you found it? And what if some of the ascension ups or downs? You know, we have to use English, you know. Have you had ascension pains? Have you had uncertainties? Have you been on one of these journeys like me where I went back to when I was 14 years old, and the first time I looked up and saw that this new energy was, because that was the vision that I had. See, thoughts have to be turned into, first the thoughts have to be communicated. Once upon a time, everything was telepathy. It was just thoughts. You see, that's what I've tapped into. I realized what I really know what I am now. Like really. I mean, my wife really, when this happened to me, my wife had to hold me for 2 hours. I lost all connection to this RAM for a minute. It was that overwhelming. I mean, I was sweating, I was crying. I'm gonna catch the phone lines. It was just amazing. See, I'm using a part of my telepathy right now, but I'm gonna go against my telepathy and do this.
Call from Jonathan. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Peace and love, Jonathan. You're live on I'm Conscious Now. What's going on?
Nothing much. I was just wondering, because I'm actually working on something right now.
Okay.
Okay, so in my backyard, I'm making a plantation. I just wanted to know if you'd like to join.
Sure. Include me in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Back up.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear me say I'm going to go against my intuition? I started not even, you could feel it. But I wanted to document that kind of on this show. You know what I mean? If you play this show back, you'll hear me say, I'm going to go against my intuition. I can feel it. Once you connect, things like this, I laugh at it because I actually knew what was coming. I did it anyway to just lock it in on this platform to let you know, not to prove anything, but to kind of give you like that, oh shit, yeah, this stuff right here, it doesn't bother me because I knew it was coming. Phone lines are still open. 734-230-2744. I want to hear from you guys just from a different perspective. I want to hear a different perspective, how someone would kind of explain the journey that they're on and how they're handling the ascension, because we are all ascending, you know, at the level of thought, at the speed of thought. I'm gonna go over to the chat. You gotta love humans. He say we building a plantation. Would I like to join it? That was a good one. I'm gonna put that one in my top 5. Let me get over here to this chat. See what's going on in the chat. Let me shoot some love over here in the chat. Who we got in the chat today live with us? And don't be shy. If you feel that, call in. Call in. J-Cat, what's good? What's good, J-Cat? Thanks for joining us live. Kaya Richardson, peace and love, Kaya. Astrid H, what's up? What's up? Great to have you guys here. We're going to smoke that one. Great to have you guys here with us live today. What is going on? Antonio, peace and love, Antonio. Nabby, peace and love to you, Nabby. Thank you for being here. Love you. Kaya Richardson, peace and love to you. SunCloud for life. I know that's right. Peace and love. Thank you for joining us today. Daily natural living. Peace and love. Peace and love. I love you guys so much. So much. Sebastian Hotch. Peace and love to you. Peace and love. If you guys have some chat questions, I'm live on the chat. I'm connected with you guys right now. I don't know why we just got a lot of crank callers today. I can just feel it. Here's another crank caller. We won't let them, unless if it doesn't bother you guys, I'll put them on because it don't bother me. You know, it doesn't. But I know a lot of people who will be watching this live stream later on that are not live. It might, I don't want to, you know, some people don't like that, but it don't bother me. It don't bother me. If that's the way they want to play with their energy, then let them be. We got a good call coming in. There you go. Peace and love, brother. Hey. Antonio.
Peace and love. At least not prank caller.
You wouldn't have made it through. You wouldn't have made it through.
Hey.
Talk to me, brother.
How have you been, Derek? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. How have you been?
I've been, and
Hello?
listen, I have been a lot of spaces. I've been on an incredible, listen, man, I've been on an incredible journey that I won't even do it a disservice to try to find the words to explain it. I just been on a great journey, man. It just, you know, it just is what it is. And I'm open to receive. I've alleviated a lot of fear. You know, I'm still working in my heart space because I went over those three speed bumps that I still have to do a little work with. That's separating me. I think that's keeping me in duality. Because I saw them clear. I know what they were. You know what I mean? And it was like a aha. They were like deep into my heart. It wasn't surfacing like in my everyday things now, but it was still there as far as the energy is what I'm saying. This energy that came from a thought, that came from an action, that came from an event, right? I had 3 major ones that I got to work on. But my aha moment was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So I know where I'm at. I know where I'm at. Hold on one minute, Antonio. If you're calling in, ladies and gentlemen, I will call some of you back. I won't catch the calls while they live because unfortunately we only got one line for the soul group. So I will be calling some of you back. All right, Tonio, tell us what's going on with you.
Oh, well, with me, it hasn't been that interesting. Like, all I can say is that for the past year, what I've noticed is that it's like what I've have to do, or one task that has been, I don't know, that I have to do is like, I should learn how my mind works, how should I say this? I don't know, just how my mind works, how I can discern my thoughts to an extent, and what I can feel right now is that after I learn how to do it to an extent, that I will actually start getting progress in stuff such as astral projection, lucid dreaming, and stuff like that. Because for the past probably year and a half, I've been trying it, and I haven't been getting any. Well, not any, but I've been getting barely any progress into that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, the main thing that I've just been noticing throughout these couple of years is that I've just been changing and learning how to listen to myself and just, I don't know, how to discern my thoughts properly.
Okay, let me ask you a question, okay?
All right.
And this is going to make everything clear. This is not a trick question, okay? It's going to really help you, my man. It's going to really help you. Okay, you ready?
Yep. Give me a minute. 1 second.
You there? I might have lost it.
Yeah.
Okay, you there. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I feel. This is not a trick question.
Okay.
What is the most important thing in the life right now for you? First thought. Come on. No, it ain't no don't analyze it. What is it?
Me. That's what came to mind.
Okay.
Myself.
It's yourself. Who are you?
An infinite being. Like.
Okay. But
yeah.
That's one aspect, but who are you?
Not
a trick question.
Antonio. Just.
Okay, stop. Stop. Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why you're where you are. You see, this is not a trick question. When you said an infinite being, that was kind of broad, but that was, and then you start thinking, and then your let's just use the word ego sunk you right back into Antonio. Antonio was a name given to you by your parents. You see what I'm saying? That's the limit. That's why, and when you look at just those questions right there, that lets me know why you can't get out of body. In order to get out of body, it's not a physical thing, right? It's the transferring of consciousness from, you just said it, Antonio to the infinite being. You get it? See, it's not a trick question. The first thing that fly out your mouth, that's what you thinking. You see? It's not, people make this so complicated. The most important thing, you said it, it's me. I'm the most important thing. Okay, I believe that, Antonio, because you're here. You're here for, you know what I mean, this self-development, you know? And I'm a derelict. I say that. In the human form, I'm a derelict learning who I am, just like a lot of other people. I'm just honest with mine. There's no gurus. There's just people on this planet that their will and their desire is more connected to who they really want to be than the person who they think they are. That's where the different levels come from. You know what I mean? But there's no one on this planet, in this realm, nowhere. I'm even talking about the breakaway societies. They're no better than we are. It's just different. And they're not even, you're one thought away from being where some of these breakaway societies are. How do I know that? I did it this morning. I connected to that thought that people say God, you know, it was just one thought. It was just one thought that I couldn't get rid of. And I know that this thought wanted me to feel and experience that, because that's what I was willing and desiring, man. What do I mean by that? I mean, for months before I would go to sleep, because we call it sleep, Antonio, but I knew when my physical body, and this is how I think. This is how I think, man. I know it's like I'm a slave, man. I know I'm a slave on this planet. A lot of people don't like that. Oh, that's negative. No. I'm just a realist. I get out any way I can. I know I'm a slave. At least 16 hours a day to my body. What do I mean by that? I know my body being here is driving me to think of different things, and my awareness is caught up with technology and relationships and kids and family and jobs and all of these things we have to do in this illusion of time. So what I've done is I've become lucid to the fact when my body starts getting tired. It's like inside of me, I start celebrating, because when my body starts getting tired, I'm like, I can get out. I can escape. I can escape. And I've been doing this over and over and over and over and over. When it's time to go to sleep, I don't sleep. I never sleep. I never die. I keep holding my consciousness. And when that body falls asleep, I can get out of here. It was a journey, not even knowing what I was seeing. If I go back and watch some of the stuff I was talking about on I'm Conscious Now, 6 months ago, I'll be laughing like, oh, he was on a journey. You know what I mean? It's a journey. I didn't know what I was seeing and all that. It's a journey, man. But when you get to the point when you there because you here on a Sunday. It's just a matter of you taking your will and the desire away from what we call this physical realm, the real world. They actually call this shit the real world. And I can laugh like, y'all, hey, they saying back to the real world. Well, where is it? It ain't here. You know what I mean? But when you can just take your will and your desire, and you know what I mean by that, and just point it to that burning flame in your heart that really wants to connect back to who you truly are. You are everything. You are infinite. You are thought, man. You are thought. You are the original thought, the organic thought. That's what people mean when they say we are all gods. You see, but gods right now in 2017, it got such a bad taste because it's been just, you know, the different perspective of gods have gotten us to, you know what I mean? So we like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? So that's why when I got this vision this morning, man, it makes so much more sense to me to say thought, the first thought, because that's where all of this came from. And we are all thought. We are thought. That's what we are. That's who we are. I'm not Derek Dunlap. But now if I'm sitting in Walmart and I'm having this same conversation me and you having right now, both of us is on the floor in handcuffs, man. We gonna get medicated. Once you figure out that you are thoughts, you're gonna get medicated. They gotta thumb you down. Because now what can we do with this ability? Whatever we can think about. That's how powerful we are, man. Whatever we can think about, we can do. There's no limitations on thought. You see what I'm saying? So what do they do? Right? Because as above, so below. We just got, I'll just say, entities that are using our thoughts to create their reality. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Right? So this is conscious pimping, what we going through. They ain't better than us. They just using us collectively, our thoughts, to create their reality. Their slave reality, man. I'm gonna let some other people get on this line, all right? I love you, bro.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Call from
Gary Green.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
You made it, Gary. Mute the live stream from me.
All right.
You made it, brother Gary. Peace.
Good day, Derek D. I'm definitely appreciating the conversation you're having on Sunday.
Hey,
and you know, when you're able to tap into your higher self, I'm just gonna say that. And when you understand that your thoughts and feelings are your greatest inventory, that's when you begin to play. You know, all the things that you're talking about, you know, but your subconscious mind runs an automatic pilot. So it's whatever you put in it is what is going to be created, manifested. So one of the things that I do, and we coach and train on, focus on our thoughts, because what I've noticed is things that manifested now are thoughts that I've had maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. And so when you understand that you can begin to manifest things 4 years ago, in the 2 years, and 1 month, 1 week, 1 moment, it's just a process of learning how to train your thoughts, because that's what it's about. It's about tapping into your source, which is your higher self, and understanding your thoughts and your feelings are your greatest inventory, and that's what's guiding you through your everyday life, you know. And so I do appreciate this platform, because it allows people, you do have some jokesters that are going to call in, but it's quite okay, you know.
Right.
But it's about connecting with people at all costs, because people don't know the things that we go through and the things that we do, and you are able to, I always say when I come to unconscious, I'm always going to get a great visual story, because you do it so well. You're able to portray and give your experience on things you can visualize, you know, even what you were talking about earlier, you know. You're really great at that, because guess what? You've done it so long.
Yeah.
You've done it. You spent the time.
Yeah.
You spent that time, you know, to get up to this point. And so everyone needs to know that once you create a habitual pattern every day with everything, is what you become. Is what you become. So you could become anything. You know, once you start eliminating that fear, you know, and start really focusing on everything else, everything is happening all over the place. I know I don't get involved in what other people are doing and things and stuff. It's about what I'm creating. Because I create my world. I create my universe. Nothing else matters.
That's right.
And that's why I tell people, be careful of what you think about or what you ask for, because you're going to get everything you ask for. But don't be upset when you get everything you ask for. It's because it's what you asked for.
That's right.
Both the challenges as well as the great times. They're all an experience. Your experience. And you can pick and choose, and like you said, have fun with it. Play with it.
You got to.
It's serious business, but once you start to tap into it, it becomes fun. Because nothing else matters. And so one of the reasons why I continue to support this challenge, because it's tapping to the young audience, the youth.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important nowadays. Because they're young minds, and man, I like their attitude. They just need some guidance. That's all.
And they keep me connected, man.
And that's what this platform allows it to do for young people, young minds, to express themselves at their highest level. I appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you, bro. I really do. I really do. And that's what inspired me to call in, because of you giving your experiences. So valuable. How you're able to paint a picture. It makes it so simple, but nobody knows about the experiences and things and rough time. No one knows about the journey you've been on. But you're able to portray it and give it to us so seamlessly, just as you described earlier with this new energy that came. It just happens so seamlessly because of the work that you've done, all the work that you've put in. And so again, I'm going to shut my mouth.
I appreciate it, man.
And get back to everything and let some other callers call in. But I appreciate you, bro. Always real talk with me and you. Peace and love to you all day.
All right, man. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Good brother there. That's a good brother from over Jersey, Gary Green. And what I was doing, ladies and gentlemen, is when you get a call like that, and that's why, I haven't said this in a while, but I'll say it again now. My intent behind this platform here is just to raise the level of consciousness. Just one soul at a time, because I know I can't save this world. I can't save this world. That's not what I'm here to do. And that's not what a lot of us are here to do. We are here. Well, that's deep, because that I can't speak what you guys are here for, but I'm here right in this time. I'm working on this heart space. I'm learning at the speed of thought now. And that's what makes this so incredible. You know what I'm saying? At the speed of thought, I'm learning, and I have this will and desire to it's like I'm hunting to find this love that alleviates and casts out all fear. This love that unlocks all of these levels of consciousness, where I can sit as thought, just as thought. That's where the power is. And so let's not make it so complicated. Like, see, the Matrix tries to make this so complicated. You know where the complication comes from, ladies and gentlemen? All of the doctrines that's been printed, all of the religions, and all of the perspectives, which are, basically, when you really tap into your multi-dimension, everybody's saying the same thing. Not thing. Everybody's saying the same thing. But because you're so one-dimensional, you can only receive it a certain way. You're not open to receive. You can learn something. I had a wonderful experience with a little child the other day, and that child was so pure and organic because she hadn't yet learned all of her mama's bad habits and her mama's ego. So it was, at that innocent stage when children are so innocent and they ask questions, and then she was telling me what she was seeing from the non-physical Ram soul group. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, man. She was looking around, and I see she was naming them. I don't remember the names, and I was like, really? I couldn't see nothing. I wasn't connected. And I see such and such, and I see such and such. What are they doing? They're flying around. I was just sitting there, man. The hairs on my arm was standing up. The children, man. And I guarantee it. She came into this space right at this present moment awareness. This child was supposed to hit Earth right in this time because she already got the gift. You see, if you connected, you would know. And you know, it's not judging, but when you open up some of these areas in your DNA, you'll just know. You'll finish the sentences. Like right now, I really have to be mindful. What I'm learning is how to walk around in 4D because it's new for me. You know what I mean? I'm learning, and they'll have to be, you know, as long as we're in this biological computer body, right? We have to get some kind of, what's the word I want to use? You guys know what I want to say. We have to get some kind of, I had the word etiquette in this 4D because we have abilities that we're not used to using. So, and I talked about this last week. My wife had to pull me to the side and say, honey, you can't just keep finishing everybody's sentences. I wasn't aware of it. You know what I mean? Like today live, when I'm like, I'm going to go beyond. I knew he was about to do that. I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? And I would just be finishing. I know that. You know, the smartest kid in the class. Nobody else can answer. That's what I was becoming, right? And my wife let me know, like, look, man, don't do that. Even if you know, sometimes don't say nothing because people will get uncomfortable. Nobody will want to be around you, you know? So like right now, I'm just learning how to adjust to 4D. Just adjust and use these abilities that I have to raise the vibration, you know? Not that duality part, you see? Because in this extension, we're going further and further each step away from duality. You see what I mean? And the gods that's in these old books, it's going to surprise a lot of, they're in duality. They're in duality. They're still in duality. If you read the Bible right now, they still require worship. They still require your energy to keep them on the level, right? In that pyramid, sitting at the top of that pyramid in different dimensions and different, you know, this is so big. This is so big. But what I saw was that first thought. Just from that first thought, visualize that first thought. I saw that first thought executing its power to follow that trail of all thoughts that exist and starting to connect and put these thoughts in their proper space or order. You know what I mean? Listen, there's some beautiful things coming, and it's letting you know without a shadow of it's connecting with you in this realm of duality. You'll know it's going to connect with you. Nobody's gonna have to tell you this. You're not gonna have to buy no $1,000 course. You're not gonna have to be jumping up and no. It will connect with you. And it only requires you to do one thing. And if you ever, listen, this is all I'm going to tell you. If you never got anything from this holographic image called Derek Dunlap, I'm going to tell you what it requires because it required it for me. Okay? You have to get to the heart space. You got to get to the heart. You see, that's the key, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get to your heart space. Now, if this sounds foreign to you, if this is your first time, your heart space is where it's weird. It's like where that heart is keeping you connected to. I can't explain it, but your heart space is what this thought looks at. It connects you. That's where the separation is. If that heart ain't right, if there's too much doom and gloom, and we call it evil, and selfishness and all of this stuff weighing you down. If that heart ain't right, there's no connection to the next one, which is you speak the throat chakra, then you got, see, it's gonna start making sense. Then you got right here the brow chakra, then you got the crown. You got the crown, the first thought. Once you connect to that, man, and once you feel this, don't worry about detaching yourself from 3D. Let me put that out there. Or 4D, wherever. Don't even worry about that. Because when you make this connection, that shit don't even exist, man. That shit didn't even, you won't even be thinking about a polo shirt or a Bentley. It don't exist. So a lot of us, we struggle like, okay, I gotta, all you got to do is take your will and your desire. And like that little kid said, right? Your will and your desire, and point it at finding out exactly who you are. Like Tiger Woods used to hit 1,000 golf balls a day. That's will and desire. And what did that result for him? To be at one time the #1 golfer on this planet. Okay? I'm telling you, if you want to get in this ascension, if you want to blow past people, if that's your thing, if you want to find out and use some of these abilities and ascend and become this multidimensional being, all it takes is your will and desire. There's no gurus here. Nobody's better than anybody else here. It's just some that are willing to sit by themselves for 9 or 10 hours a day. Like we used to laugh at monks. Remember, some of you did too. Remember when we first started waking up and we used to see those people sitting there, and we used to be like, ain't nowhere in the world I could sit there. And at that time, you couldn't. And some of you right now can't sit down for an hour. You can't. Why? Because you're in the artificial slave world. I always wonder why I call planet Earth the prison planet. I didn't know why I said it. I could just feel it like it's the prison planet. It is. It is. It's a planet where you have to work for food. You have to work for shelter. You have to work for electricity. You guys get what I'm saying? Listen, it's a prison planet. It is what it is. It's a prison planet that is rising in vibration now. Okay, and there will be a time in the illusion of time as Gaia is raising her frequency. She's shaking off all the fleas. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. It's a prison planet. We've been enslaved. There's no doubt about it, and it don't matter how you feel about it. That's just something that when you make this connection to thought in your heart, thought is gonna show you that separation. He gonna show you the connection because you're gonna be connected. And then I'll say it will show you the disconnection. Vivid. You'll know. Nobody else ain't got to know. But you'll know. It's a connection, an organic connection. And you can lose that connection if you get too caught up in this artificial intelligence stuff out here. You can lose it. See, because you got to connect to something. Remember, what are you? Thoughts. You got to think about something. And the longer you stay away from this organic connection, right? They say here on where we are in Detroit, they say anything you do for 21 days becomes a habit, right? Right? You see how they didn't learn how to tap into your subconscious mind? They know how to get there. We, in our soul group, we got to become the masters, right? Of our subconscious. We got to program. We got to mess with our own DNA in this ascension. You guys understand what I'm saying? As above, so below. I understand that. So, and this as above, this is a lot of levels. The gods in some of the ancient books, right, are still in duality. They're still fighting for power. That's just a system. That's just a survival mode system. Chakras, the same gods that created us, didn't they give us chakras? Ooh, this gonna turn the light bulb. Weren't we created in their image? Are you guys with me? Through thoughts, right? Didn't we get a chakra system? Right? What do chakras do? They create duality. You see what I'm saying? So the gods are still in duality from their thoughts. You see? It ain't just, we was taught, oh, 3D is through, but when we get the 4th and 5th, then we'll get away from now. The only way you're going to get out of duality is organically connecting back to the first thought, the all-consuming thought. You ain't going to do this in a spaceship. You ain't going to do this at a space station. You ain't going to do this with no kind of technology, no kind of artificial intelligence is going to do this. Okay? It's your connection. The you, the I am that you are. You find that out when you connect. And it starts on my journey. It started when I reached my heart space. You see, I've been stuck in my root chakra probably for hundreds of thousands of incarnations. I couldn't get out. Chasing that money. Chasing that money, man. Chasing that wealth. Chasing that being the best, number one. When there's really no such thing as competition because we all on the same damn level. They just created this thing called a pyramid. You see how this is shaped, right? Only one can sit at a top in the illusion of time for a time. And then that one to get knocked off. Then everybody fighting to get to the top of this pyramid. This is a dimension that was created from thought. Competition. Here we are. Here we are. If you can decode this today and just grab little nuggets, some of you already know this, right? Some of you just come on here just to, reassurance, or I'm just reminding you, you know what I'm saying? If you could just grab anything from this live stream, make it to your heart space. And once you get there, let this all-consuming thought illuminate your heart so you can see where you at. The real you in that space, right? You'll know where you at. You'll know what's separating you, what's consuming you. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the body. And see, don't worry about the body because that body will be over there on that bed, sleep, like I experienced, just snoring, just all fucked up and disgusting. It was just out of sync. When I saw my body this morning, my body was just, you see what I'm saying? I just knew it. I'm like, damn. You see what I'm saying? I could see what's been like almost suppressing me, pimping me, ruling over me, just using it. I felt, man, the hoes don't feel this bad. Like the look when I looked at that body, man, what I felt, just getting pimped. But that body, our physical bodies, we love them. You know what I mean? And this is a horrible analogy, but this is how I felt when I saw that body. You know how you see some men and women that just love somebody so bad, and they treating you like shit. You know they treating you like shit. You know they taking you down the wrong roads. You know you supposed to be somewhere different, but you just keep on loving them. That's how I felt when I saw my body this morning snoring. It was just like looking at a drunk sleep, and I could finally sneak, get away from it for a while. That's how I feel when my body goes to sleep now. Soon as I yawn, I instantly become lucid. And this will help some of you get out of body. So you gotta know, become conscious of your thoughts and become conscious of how this body operates. You see, this body is on a different. This body is responding now to the artificial grid that's just outside the Earth's atmosphere. And the only way you can see this grid, you got to be in your energy. I won't say you got to, but when I see this grid, I'm in my energy body or my astral body. You see what it looked like a spider web or something around the Earth, right? And that's when I really tapped into the reincarnation track. When I saw that web around, and then I saw these lights. I told this story before, coming up, and they couldn't get past this web. you know, and then there was a light right there, and they were following this main light. That's what the vision that I had of that reincarnation trap. That's where that came from. The body responds to that grid. And in this grid is the competition. Number one, everything in this present moment awareness, or in this what we call 4D now we're going to, is competition. Everything is competition. Everything is numbers. You guys understand what I'm saying? That's when they say the matrix, everything is so competitive. I'm here to tell you, if you could just, and we've been born into this and we've been doing it so much, it's going to take you knowing who you are, from, like the brother said, from your higher self, to really look at this dimension for what it is, right? I don't have to be number, you guys can hear me say, I ain't no guru. I don't have to be number one no more. I don't have to have 400 million. Shit, I don't even have to have 1 million. Just give me the ability to keep my connection and I'll be okay. You get what I'm saying? I know I'm rooted and grounded in something that's greater than all that we perceive here. I know that. And that's what I wake up excited about. That's my lifeline. You see what my lifeline ain't how much, and I was just in 2011, my lifeline was in how many zeros was in my bank account. That's all I knew. Because if I ain't have no money, oh shit, the light's gonna go out. It wasn't until I started having these experiences that would take me beyond this realm of thinking, this realm of thought, and actually showed me the absolute organic power source, the powers that power all of this, right? So it didn't take me that long to say, hey, I won't be down with you. You know what I mean? Because you running all of this. That's kind of how I was, and I started chasing it. Chasing it like it was the most beautiful, divine feminine energy on this planet. That's how I went out after it. Every time I yawn, can I get away? Can I get out of body? You know? Every time I would work out real hard, and you know how you get that, oh, I'm tired. I become lucid right there. Right there. You should become lucid. And that's how you keep your consciousness when your body falls asleep. You listen, you do it 3 and 4 times a day anyway. The only difference for some of us that are ascending faster, we become lucid when we yawn or when the body gets tired. We watching our body. We're guarding our thoughts. We in control of this now. Or we're learning how to drive this now. This vehicle. My vehicle ain't driving me no more. You see what I'm saying? My vehicle's not driving me no more. Certain things that this vehicle used to drive me. You know? It used to drive me and pull my solar energy around and abuse my solar energy from its will and desire from this body. So that's why I understand when people, call in and they say, I'm struggling with masturbation. No, you're not. No, you're not. I've been there. No, you're not. You're not struggling with masturbation. So stop saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2017. And listen, I'm just going to keep it 100. This energy here is so strong. I even beat my meat a couple weeks ago. I wasn't struggling with it. Why did I do it? A thought came up in my head, right, that I became aware of. Real blissful time. I stayed on that thought long enough for it to connect to my body, right? And I wanted to do it. So I did it. I ain't struggling with nothing. I wanted to do it. But here's where some of you are, right? You masturbating because you get pleasure from it. You see what I'm saying? You get pleasure. Masturbation is, for some of us in our soul group, that's all you got right now. That's the only you can get from the matrix. So understand that and don't beat yourself up for it. See, when you masturbate and you do that, and then you can feel, oh, why did I do that? You did it. You have to be real. You did it because you wanted to do it. You're getting something from it. Now find out what you're getting from the masturbation and replace that with a different non-physical action. You see what I'm saying? I replace masturbation with deeper meditation, my rhythmic breathing. I can get the same feeling. I just don't release my seed. That's the key, but it's going to take will and desire. See? You're going to have to get off that computer for a while because that porn is heavy. I'll be doing what sometimes I'll be setting up for my shows, right? And a virus or something that I really got to get my computers cleaned out. You know, them pop-ups, it'll just pop up. Bing. Damn, you know what I'm saying? So it'll just pop up on the computers now. So you're not struggling with anything. You're just you have an habitual thought pattern that needs to be alleviated. And somebody, well, how do you do it, Derek? Identify the thought pattern. Don't bullshit yourself. Excuse my language. Identify it. What it is. Identify why you're doing it. You see what I'm saying? You can go there. Why you doing it? What are you trying to hide? What are you running from? You know, what caused this to manifest? What caused this thought to be habitual? And start cleaning that up by changing the energy that you attach to it. You see what I'm saying? And using other thoughts that bring you higher vibrations or that bring you joy and replace those with that thought. You see? When you become a habitual masturbator, it's only because, wow, let me give you this. Every time you masturbate, right, you literally have an out-of-body experience for that. If you got to measure it in time, I don't like that. Let's just say that 1 second when you have that orgasm, you ain't thinking about your bills. It's an out-of-body experience. I know the feeling. I know what it is. Trust me on this. I know how to use my sexual energy. Trust me, I master it, right? You gone. You ain't thinking about your body. You ain't thinking about the house. You ain't thinking about nothing. And that's when you scream from your soul. You know what I mean? There's one thing I like about unconscious now. What we can keep it real. You scream from your soul when you have an orgasm. Oh, sound like Tarzan, right? And that's all some of you have. Okay? What is robbing you from, though? I got to keep it real. What is robbing you from? You are abusing your life force energy. All right? You are energy, okay? And what's been put in place is a system, especially the computers and this reality TV, is driven by sexual lust, this lustful energy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's driven by this lust. You see booty everywhere. You see handsome men and six-pack. You see, you know, everywhere. It's all over the internet. It's all over TV, right? And the reason why is because these entities that we've been talking about, right? They're feeding off of your energy. So if they could just get your mind, your thoughts, right, locked into these visuals, these events, and you start thinking, I wonder what it'll feel like to fuck her. I'm just being bold, or him, right? There it is. Ding, awareness, thought, and there you go. In thought, you are, right? And then you put the action with it and you get the feeling. So what you're doing is you're trying to genetically modify with your sexual energy the frequency of love. Damn, I'm gonna have to play this shit back for myself. That's why you masturbate. That's why you masturbate. You're genetically modifying with the thought, the visual, whatever you're thinking of. You're using the action. So you're actually participating physically with yourself, right? And in exchange, you're giving up your sexual energy, that life force energy, that creative energy, that energy that can actually bring another soul into this dimension. That's what that sexual energy creating. That's the fruit of life here, right? So you're genetically trying to modify love. That's when you masturbate. The only way out from that is will and desire. The only way out from gluttony We up against a lot of shit in this matrix that's right there that a lot of people don't talk about. The two things are, and I'm gonna close on this. We at 2 o'clock. Yeah, is it 2 o'clock? 2:20. Damn. Gluttony. And I just went through gluttony. Let's touch on gluttony. We just touched on masturbation because believe it or not, right? There's a lot of souls still abusing masturbation. I just beat mommy 2 weeks ago. I'm not addicted to it, but just imagine if I'm telling you this and I'm just being honest with y'all so y'all won't feel so alienated, beating the shit out of yourself because you're doing this. You know what I mean? I know that feeling, especially in the conscious community, in our soul group. There's a lot of abuse of the sexual energy. And why do I say abuse? Because I know what the sexual energy was created for. This energy was given to us as a slave race, the humans, to create, to breed more of this slave race that's been trapped on Earth. You see what I'm saying? For who knows the incarnations, right? That's why we have this ability to have sex. Okay, and you heard me say this before. A lot of this sex is not driven by love. All right, because we're on our journey. We're finding out what true love is, right? True love, what? It casts out all fear, right? It raises your vibration, right? It's met in the heart space, right? Now, a lot of you have soulmates that you are connected from the heart space. And if you decided to have a children, if you guys know how to visualize, you know what kind of child you want, you know the sex of that child, you know what you want to allow that child to come here and do. You're creating this child through thoughts. Using your sexual energy, letting the Kundalini energy rise up in the male and the woman. And at that explosion, your thoughts go out to the universe and you create a child. Now, let's keep it real. How many people you think doing that now? So what are we getting? We're getting lust. More lust coming in. More breeding, right? They got to keep the TVs going. They got to keep this porn going. They got to keep this reality TV going. They got to keep the music and the song. They got to keep you ain't nothing but a bitch. You ain't nothing but a hoe. Get on your knees and give me a blow. They got to keep that going. Who is they? The people who feed and breed off our energy. Right above us. There's levels to this. Right above us. And then there's somebody feeding off their energy above them. And then there's somebody, it's a pyramid. That's why that pyramid is on that dollar bill. In God we trust. God damn it, they ain't never lied about that. Here we do. In this dimension, we trust in that money. You see? Because without that money, to some of us, we don't exist. Not for me anymore. Now, I'm not naive to the fact that in order for me to do this live stream and keep these lights on, I got to use this mind to create some things in this reality to get some money coming in. And that I know how to do. But here's where I draw the line. I'm no longer willing to compromise my connection to get that money. If I can get that money and keep my connection, right? Now, this is going to cause me to change the way that I'm thinking. You see what I mean? Because I know that this first thought, will give me that authentication. Did I say that right? Authentication? Yeah, he'll give me that stamp, or it will give me that stamp to manifest anything my heart wills and desires, as long as it's aligned up with it. And for a period of time, check this out. I saw this. For a period of a time, it didn't have to line up with it. It would give me these manifestations. That's where your black magic and the light magic came from. Black magic does not work like it want. Anybody that's in black magic right now, if you're following somebody in black magic right now, I haven't heard anybody specifically, they're telling you some of the old spells and things they used to do, they no longer work. I know this because certain things I used to do to manifest things don't work no more. And this is why. Because this thought, the first thought, I'm changing. I used to call it the divine presence of all. Some people call it the source, but I'm keeping it real simple now. the first thought is reconnecting with us. And it's only allowing certain manifestations, especially this new energy is the first thought. See, it's that energy coming in. This ain't no being. This ain't one of these gods that you feeling. Because if it was left up to these gods, you would never feel this energy. You see, we wouldn't feel this energy. The slave race, planet Earth, with the Dracos and the reptilians and all of these entities that's been eating off us for thousands of years. And y'all want me to get emotional about the black and white racism on this planet? This shit is way beyond that. That's why that don't even bother me no more. When the guy, you want to be in my planet? Well, your ass on a cosmic plantation right now. That's why I laugh. We all on a cosmic plantation where we are right now. So that's he way down here. You see what I'm saying with that? The black and white race, the battle over planet Earth, y'all fighting over a slave planet. Which you ain't gonna control, which you ain't controlling anyway. Donald Trump ain't controlling nothing. These leaders ain't controlling nothing. Who's controlling planet Earth? I ain't saying it because I don't feel like fighting them spirits today. I'm in a good space. We know who controlling it. We know who controlling it. And you just go ahead and control it. Have fun. Because your time and the illusion of time is coming to an end. Because we waking up. We waking up. Imagine 7 billion thoughts reconnecting to the one thought that started it all. Now that's when you should jump up and start doing the Holy Ghost right there. You know what I mean? Imagine 7 billion thoughts reconnecting to the first thought that started it all. How you gonna stop that? How you gonna stop that with some AI, some artificial intelligence? That's how powerful we are, because we go from duality to non-duality. 7 billion thoughts becoming one? Ain't nothing stopping that. That's what moves mountains, and nothing can stop that. No Dracos, no reptilians, nothing. We going right back to our origin and reigning. And if you can feel that, if you can get something from that, man, that's the ascension. Taking your space, right? Your little space you have, and a line, being ready to catch that rope that the first thought gonna throw you. But it's energy. But just being ready when you open that crown, when you get in that heart space, right? And you get that key. That key is called love. When you get that key, you're gonna get your first dose of true love. When the first thought reconnects with you, you're gonna feel that love. You're gonna know what you've been missing. It's gonna fill all of the holes in your being, everything. Just gonna trust me on this. It's gonna just give you everything you ever wanted simultaneously. You're gonna become everything. There's no lack. And then you're gonna get a key. Because that heart gonna be pumping. Say, I'm gonna give you this key. And anytime you want to get back to me, I'm gonna give you this key. It's right from your heart. You gotta turn within to get here now. I'm gonna send you back out on this journey, because we got 7 billion people that we gotta get together to be with it. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I enjoyed this. I have nothing else. I've said enough. I love all of you guys, and don't even get used to this energy today, because this, man, we can go anywhere with this. Just get to your heart space. Get to your heart space. And let the games begin. Peace and love.